Welcome to our weekly Being Your Own CEO Success Circle that is intended especially for solopreneurs. This morning, we're going to be looking at our strategy formation, or maybe another way to say that would be our business promotion process. So we'll be right back after this. Well, hello everyone. This is Lowell Ann, your host for this Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. And greetings, panel members. What's new with you on this fine day in your part of the world? So as usual, we will begin with some introductions, and perhaps I'll get us started by saying that in my coaching and consulting work, I love helping solopreneurs who want more from their business. Together, we will overcome that feeling of overwhelm and procrastination while bringing our business mastery plan into a joyful reality. So, yes, we were just talking a little bit about where we are. I'm in Victoria, BC, British Columbia, Canada, where we are, in this province, we are already experiencing forest fires. So we're very happy that it's raining today. So despite the fact that we walked in the rain, but it was a warm rain. So let's see. How are things in your part of the world, Vivek? How would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Vivek Anand. I am proud to share my belief with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. Coming to your question, Llewellyn, weather has been up and down. It's, I think it is, what's the temperature? Inside it is 20.
Oh, yes, there's...
Outside, I think it is 19. So
yeah, it's warm.
yeah.
Well, it's only 11 degrees here, so you got us beat. Yeah.
And today's topic comes at the right time for me, because I need to actually put a strategy in place for the new series of videos that I talked about last time. So,
Aha. Good.
it's right in time.
Good. That's great. So I'm happy you're here, Vivek. So hopefully we'll be able to sort of sort that out. I realized that as I was thinking about the topic, I realized that I sort of have one, but it wasn't articulated well enough. Wasn't in writing, that's for sure, and it wasn't articulated well enough in my own mind. So that's what I came up with this morning. So it's probably a good time for me too. So looking forward to the discussion. So Fred, how are you this morning?
I'm doing very well, though, and I'm a bit worried about my internet connection. It's keeps giving me signals that it's weak, but let me know if you can't hear me. I can always switch computers at it. But I'm Fred Jones. I'm located also in the Victoria area, a little bit further, west or but it's also raining. I have to admit, it's not sunny like Jail's going to tell you, because I'm closer to Jay than you are. I help promote our future leaders, which is our young people, communication, leadership skills, to help them build self-confidence, to become the leaders that our world needs. And past weekend, I had a wonderful time with some old Boy Scouts that I know since the late 1950s. And we were on a boat cruise along the Gulf Islands, went to Ganges on Salt Spring Island, actually dedicated a memorial bench from someone who was a relative of one of the scouts that we're with. And there was a bench there that commemorated he was an avid photographer on Salt Spring Island. And the photography club, it was about 20 people turned out at this ceremony.
Really?
We invited them to the boat, which was parked next to the bench, which is on the wharf where the float planes take off.
Oh, right.
So it was wonderful. It was a wonderful weekend, and the weather was all sunny all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Until today, which
we do need the rain.
Is fine.
Yeah.
So
well,
anyway, everything's going well, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, right on. I have sailed the Gulf Islands a number of times, and it is just a fabulous experience, isn't it? All those islands and so forth.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Right on. Well, I'm happy you're back and with us. So, Nathan, how are you doing this morning?
Better now that I'm unmuted. Sorry about the truck going by. I forgot to mute myself. Well, normally I do, but I forgot. Anyway, coming to you from Bucerias, which is a little town north of Puerto Vallarta. Like Fred, I'm house sitting, and I'm here for 6 months. And as far as what's new, I've returned to the publishing world.
Mm-hmm.
And I created a lot of attention when I wrote a headline, which was, if you could write a book in a week, would you do it? And I wound up with a flood of responses, and I've gotten some clients out of it. And I'm just at phase 2 where I'm scaling. So that's what's going on. Yeah.
What do you mean by scaling, Nathan?
Scaling means going from a special offer of 1,500 up to 5,000, and then going from there even higher. I had a funny experience. I thought I needed social proof in order to make this thing work, and then I wound up on a call with a potential client, and he informed me that my thinking was wrong. And after that, everything changed. Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool. He said to me, "No, you don't." And he said, "Besides, you're a ghostwriter. You can't reveal your clients." You can't. And I thought, you're right. I completely forgot about that.
Right.
Because part of being a ghostwriter is privacy.
Oh, right.
And it's like, oops, missed that one. Anyway.
Oh, right on. So writing a book in a week.
It is entirely possible if you use my method.
Well, I look forward to hearing some more about that for sure. Right on.
Okay.
So I'm glad you're here. Javita, how are things in Mumbai?
It's all good. Actually, it's very scorching hot in Mumbai. So I'm Shubhangi, and I'm really happy to be here. I'm a Reiki master and also yoga master. So I'm doing today. I'm doing some blogging about meditation and all this.
Oh, nice. Well, that's nice. Blogging is certainly needs to be a part of our strategies. That's for sure. So, yeah. So welcome here. Now, Alana, how is your company? You last week you had company and you were traveling around Ireland.
I was, yeah. Alana here from Ireland, and my website's emptynesterblog.com, and my company is ALB Digital Marketing Solutions, where I help people manage their websites. And emptynesterblog.com is helping people earn money online. So yeah, my company last week, we had a blast. We traveled all over the place, and they're gone now, and I miss them, my friends from Boston. And yeah, we had a great time. Saw lots of stuff, did lots of stuff, and so it's a little hard for me getting back into a blogging routine this week. So I've been trying really hard to get focused, and yeah, it's a challenge this week. So
yeah, I always used to find that, especially when I had a regular job after a vacation, it was always really hard to sort of pull yourself back in and say, do I really care about this? And it took a little while when you got involved, and then things ramped up. Yeah, no kidding. Well, I'm happy you're with us this week.
Thank you. Happy to be back.
Right on. So there's David.
AKA Debbie.
Yes, I see that.
Because I'm using my wife's computer today. We're in the Wisconsin Dells today and having all sorts of fun. And I'm David from Affordable Websites for Small Business and United Country Sauk Valley Realty.
Mm-hmm.
The Dells is a big resort town. I don't know if everybody knows that, and it's widely known for its water slides, water parks.
Oh.
Almost every hotel of any size has a water park, and they have indoor and outdoor water parks, so you can year round. The resort I'm at right now is a skiing resort and a golf resort, so they don't have a water park, but it's out in the country. but
Mm-hmm.
the kids and my wife and everybody will be swimming later this afternoon, and I'm going fishing.
Aha. Well, we missed you on Friday and wondered where you were.
Well, it was interesting. I went to I had a meeting for morel mushroom hunting. I went
With
to,
Tony.
well, actually not with Tony, with Chris, the owner of the site, and we went. He had a foray in Galena, Illinois, and so I went mushroom hunting in Galena, Illinois. Friday night was I had a meeting at 7:30. We got done at like 10 o'clock. So and I got home at like 11:30. So there was no way I was meeting up with you guys. And
Right.
then
Wow.
Saturday we went out and hunted mushrooms till 4 o'clock. I mean, we went up and down hills like you wouldn't believe at 30 to 35
5
degree angles
degrees.
to find these things. And then did the same thing on Sunday until 2 o'clock, and then he cooked up all of the different mushrooms and different edible plants that we found, and didn't cook it all up, but he cooked up a I don't know, about 10 different dishes that you got to sample and eat.
Oh, is there any way you could get some recipes?
Yeah, he sells a book.
Does he?
And Jay say, just slide your card here.
Yeah. All
But
right.
I'll see what I can do. It's online. I'll dig up a post. I don't probably have it on this computer, and I'll send it to you later. So.
All right on.
Had a lot of fun. It was good. My granddaughter went, and she had fun too. She's only 7, and
Right.
she had a blast. And I think I've got her converted to be a mushroom hunter.
Well, and now as I recall, this mushroom person, this is a website that you've just taken on, right?
Correct.
Aha. So you got to meet up with them. Oh, cool.
Yes, I did, and that was neat too. So
Yeah.
no, better than the hangout that you do. So
Yeah. No, that's lovely. Well, so you're sort of on vacation.
yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
Good morning, Jay, or good morning, everybody. I haven't get to say good morning to anybody. So
Right.
I didn't know if you saw Jay come in. So
Yes, I did. I just saw him come in, and you just arrived in time, Jay. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Sorry for my tardiness, Coach. But hello, my name is Jay. My company is Magi Studios, where we help people get started in the world of online marketing through coach consulting and training. Back to you, Laulan.
Right on. Welcome here, Jay. So we last week we were exploring the podcasts that we were listening to, and we talked about podcasting as a business strategy, and I guess we sort of left off saying, well, that podcasting needs to be part of your overall strategy. So then we started thinking about, that overall strategy and how does that work? So I sort of thought, well, that might be a place where we could begin this morning. And as I said earlier, as I was thinking about this, I began to realize that I sort of have one in the back of my mind, but I realized that I hadn't really articulated it to myself or written it down in a clear sort of logical fashion, which is probably really important. But so I think we did sort of begin by, or we ended by saying, well, how do you put a strategy together? Well, I guess you begin with the end in mind. And the other thing that popped up for me was when I saw the title of your webinar for Friday, Jay. I think it was about creating your funnel. your marketing funnel. And I started thinking, well, that's probably another way of saying exactly what we were going to talk about this morning. What is your business promotion process? Uh-oh. I think that's in my building here. Oh no. I think I have to go.
Is that the fire alarm?
It is the fire alarm.
Oh dear.
So,
when smoke billows underneath your door, then you might want to consider leaving. So.
Did you make me as a temporary or as a co-monitor?
I can do that right now. Manage participants. Where are you? Debbie.
Yes.
Sounds like the alarm stopped, though.
Yeah, it did.
Maybe they were testing it and just didn't tell you.
Well, but they normally would tell you, wouldn't they?
You would think,
Manage participants. I'm not finding the piece that I need. Oh,
if
yeah.
you hear people running out of the building, then it's time to go.
Oh, my God.
You're great.
Sorry.
Oh, this is hilarious. Anyway, so if we are, a number of us, I think, are in need of creating something concrete and something more than just a kind of an overall thought. And so the pieces that I thought about that I need to articulate clearly in my own mind are what is it that I'm promoting, who am I targeting, and what is it that they need that I can supply. So those were some basic questions. But then if I think about beginning with the end in mind, then I was able to say, well, what is it I want people to do? Well, first of all, I want them to sign up for my weekly blog. And that means that there are certain things that I need to do to promote that blog. And then the second thing that I want them to do is to purchase my Business Mastery Plan course. And so then I started thinking, well, so maybe what I need to do is create a promotional video to about this course that would go into a blog. And then I also thought, well, the third thing I want people to do is to sign up for business coaching. And that means that I need to in my blog posts, I need to write about the coaching experience and what happens. So that's as far as I got. So now, among all the others that are here, how many of you have been able to articulate that far, or do you have a written plan? How do you go about doing it? Anybody want to offer what they're doing?
Sure, I'm happy to chime in.
Right.
Unless anyone else wants to go before me.
No, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So kind of following along what you were saying with, like what am I promoting and who's my audience? There's one kind of additional layer there that I would add, and it's how do I get them there? So what am I promoting? Who is my audience, and how do I get them there? How do I get them to that end result? And that could be a variety of different ways. It could be through, organic search marketing. It could be through podcasting. It could be through video marketing, and it doesn't need to be just one way. As long as the funnel to get them to that end result is consistent, with the different mediums, because the end result should only be one location, not several locations.
Right.
So how you funnel them there in a variety of different ways multiple ways, I think is totally awesome. It is certainly something that I do recommend, because then you're reaching, your audience, but in different locations, So, in terms of podcasting, I've never, I mean, and I think this is obviously my personal opinion, is I've never found podcasting a really strong way to drive a funnel, because with podcasting, people are listening to you, and to take action, they need to hear where you want them to go.
Yeah.
So you have to actually give them instructions as to where to go and what to do, versus just a single click. And unfortunately, internet society is inherently lazy. So, when you say, hey, just go to www./ or you give them a bit.ly URL or something like that, #,
And they're not going to do that if they're listening to your podcast in the car.
Exactly.
Or wherever.
Yeah, podcasting, I think, is listened to passively, where they're not just sitting there listening to, the majority of the times, they're not just listening to you and kind of like, they're probably doing something else, So I think podcasting is great for brand building and reputation management.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I think that's where it stops.
Well, now just following up on that, the way Mayanna Stevenson does hers is she sends out her blog post by email, and when you click on read more, then you go to her website where the blog post, and she embeds the podcast right in the blog post. So for me, for example, if I'm interested, I like to stay on top of what she's got to say, etc., etc. I open that, but let's say I've got a few things to do. Maybe I want to do my dishes or whatever. It's really nice to be able to hit that podcast within the blog and be able to do something else while I'm listening. So I find that's very convenient. But I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would find just subscribing to that podcast. I don't know that I would find that useful. So yeah, it's. But I guess we have to understand that some people really like listening while they're reading, and if it boils down to different learning styles and working styles, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So moving forward there, so what I like to do in terms of mapping out a funnel or mapping out a strategy to get to have my audience get to the end result is I mind map it out. So I'll go to a source called Bubble, and I'll kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll map that out just to make sure, because like you said, everyone has different learning styles, and I find that if I can visually map out my sequence or my funnel, then I'll have a better understanding as how I'm getting my audience there. You'd be surprised how, I've been working with some students and I've been saying to people, map it out, like map out what you think is going on. And there's been some amazing clarity by doing that, by actually mapping out their funnel. Specifically, like I had one student just last week, we were talking about his email funnel. I said, well, why don't you just take all of the emails sequences or the broadcasts or drip campaigns, that you have, and put it in a single Google Doc file where each email has its own dedicated page. And what he had learned, and then also mind map it, right? See the sequence. And what he had learned was that there was zero consistency from email to email, right? It was like a penny stock. It was all over the map. And he goes, wow. It's like, oh my God, this is just unreal. So he got some clarity, and personally, I think that's the fault of the system, of the email marketing system. Well, he's specifically using Aweber, but he found so much clarity in seeing it all in a sequential line, in a sequential document, where he goes like, oh, I got to totally change this. And so what he's done is he's went ahead and made these changes, including the subject titles, and his conversions have actually gone up as a result of that. Simple, and just in a week's time, his conversions have already gone up. So mapping it out, I think, is really important. Brainstorming kind of thing. I mean, that's how we learn in school, right? Is we gotta write notes and do that, right? I mean, absorbing information in your mind can only go so far, but you gotta take the magic pen and write it out.
So I can give you a little bit of a theoretical background as to why that's useful. If you think of our brains, if you think of right brain thinking and left brain thinking, so many and most people kind of favor one a little bit over the other, and of course there are the useful thing is to be able to move from one side of your brain to the other. But especially for right brain thinkers, using a mind map is a way to put it is a way to make you think sequentially. And that's important because everything we do online is sequential. So that is really useful. And being able to see it, I discovered recently, I did a proposal to an organization for doing a website. And in that proposal, I put a mind map of the structure of the website, and the feedback I got from them was incredible. I mean, it seemed to be a logical thing for me to do, and they said, "Oh, now I get it." I mean, you can talk all around around in circles and try to explain things, but when they see a visual of what you're talking about, it's really, really useful for them. So I got a lot of positive feedback around the inclusion of that mind map in the proposal.
Cool. Was it a bubble by chance?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I find that app or website by far is the easiest mind mapping tool that I've ever experienced. I've tried a whole bunch of them, and I find these mind map tools, they can be so overwhelming in terms of the complexity and how far you can and how deep you can go. And I find that the irony of that is that they're so complex that it prevents you from actually doing anything because they're so advanced. The bubble is just super simple and easy to use.
Why not just do it by hand? I mean, that's how I learned to do it. I've never used a mind mapping tool.
Well, Nathan, the younger generation, we're trying to save trees, buddy.
Well,
I can do it digitally using a drawing tablet if you want to pull that on me. I can use a drawing tablet and draw it on my screen. But this mind mapping thing, I've been using it as part of my process. Like, I've gone back to the publishing world and, but the number one thing that my mentor gave me 20 years ago was a mind map.
Yeah.
Now, I did it at the time, but I was really focused. I knew exactly what I wanted and I went after it. But the mind map is useful. But the feedback I've been getting lately from my new clients is, can you walk me through it? And so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, how am I going to take that little webcam I've got and set it up in such a way that it can point down at a sheet of paper? It's either that or I need to buy myself a drawing tablet so I can do this on screen with my clients, because they're all saying to me, I need help. I need you to walk me through this. I'm going, okay, hand holding 101. But it's been kind of wild. And they're going, I don't know. I seem to come from a different mindset, but you tell me what you want me to do and I do it. But I've been discovering there are many people who can't do that.
It's true.
Rather astonishing, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's been quite the education.
There it is, Bubble US.
Bubble US.
This is the mind map tool that I was talking. It's free.
Cool. Okay.
So it's bubbl.us.
Cool. Got to check that out then. Maybe that will be a potential solution to what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm. See, that's how it's laid out.
And
Oh,
it's
interesting.
very simple to use. Yeah, I have another mind mapping program. I think it's called iMindMap, and I agree with you, Jay. It's way it does way too many things, and therefore it becomes way too complex. This Bubble US is really simple and therefore makes it work more easily. Yeah.
So,
And you can save it as a JPEG or whatever, so that you can use it included in various other things as well. Yeah. So what about everybody else now? Vivek, you said right now is the right time for you to start thinking about putting together your promotion process.
Yeah, I have been, I don't know whether you can see, writing, this is back of a receipt.
The grocery list.
Yes. I've been putting that, and Jay, this may be news to you, or maybe, I don't know how you're going to respond. I am now using a Apple Mac.
Over
Stop
to
the
the dark,
presses.
all over to the dark side.
An Android, a computer programmer who specifically deals with PCs and Androids now using a Mac. That's great. That's good. That's awesome. Diversity. It's all about diversity, right?
Yeah. So my strategy is, starting a new series where the title will be 3-in-1, where I will be talking about how to use a particular tool, or how to achieve something using a Mac, how to achieve the same thing using a Windows machine, how to achieve the same thing using a Linux machine. So those three things. So
that's a great idea. That's a really good topic. I think that's a really neat niche. Yeah, I wish you luck with that. That's cool.
Well, it's not unlike Geeks on Tour. I don't know how many of you are aware of Geeks on Tour. It's a couple from Florida that they do webinars, live streaming webinars on Sunday, and they do what they concentrate on is your mobile things. But they demonstrate both iOS and Android, and phone and tablet, etc. And so they in all of their things they demonstrate and show you how to do it in all of the above. So it's really quite helpful. Yeah. So now. Vivek, I mean, if I think you said it's going to be a video series that you're creating?
Yes, it's going to be a video series. I on this list that I just made, I'm going to start with the how to get to Google Drive using these three platforms. It's slightly different,
right?
So how to get to that, then how to create a Google Doc, and how to share it, and then how to use a shared document. Someone else shares a document with you. How will you find it? How will you use it? So that you and the other person, or maybe more than two, how to collaborate effectively using the shared document when people are using different technology to get to it. One of them may be Mac, maybe someone is using a Windows machine, someone may be using something else, Android phone, maybe iPhone, maybe iPad. So I want to cover each of them and explain
So,
how.
you've got the content sort of mapped out in your mind.
Mm,
Have you given any thought to the process that you're going to use to promote those?
no, not yet.
I do want to go back to something that you guys were talking about earlier to do with the whole podcasting thing. At one point, I was working with a partner. We had created a podcast, but it didn't fly. But the other thing is, I've also appeared on many podcasts. And I have to say that I agree with Jay. I haven't found it to be a very useful tool for building my business, contrary to all the hype and hoopla out there about podcasting. But one of the things that I learned is that if you were doing it through iTunes, that if you could get picked for, I forget what it was called, a particular status within iTunes, it would rocket your podcast to the top of the charts. The trouble is, it was hit and miss. There was no rhyme and reason to it. There was no way that you could get featured. It was all at the whims of the people running iTunes. And at the time, we were following a business plan, which, as it turned out, was totally random. And when I saw that, I realized that the business plan was actually worthless to us because it heavily relied on chance. And the guy who wrote this report won that lottery, and we lost it. And when we lost it, that huge part of our strategy just tanked. And as for podcasts being on them, I haven't noticed any appreciable results. I've had much better results doing other things. So I just wanted to throw that in for a moment.
Well, and I mean, we certainly have been chatting over the last while about the value of using YouTube, and various ways of listing what you're doing and embedding and doing all of those things. So, yeah, but yeah, I sort of thought it would be kind of fun to try doing a podcast of embedding a podcast in a blog post, just to see kind of what sort of result it brings. Yeah.
Have you thought about the technology behind it, meaning like which service that you're going to use?
Well, it's really easy because it would be really easy because in Zoom, when you use Zoom, you can record within Zoom, and when you're finished, you get both an MP3 file and an MP4 file.
So where are you going to host the MP3 file?
Yeah. That would be the.
So you have to host it somewhere.
Yes, it's kind of similar to YouTube, where your videos have to reside in YouTube. So there's a service called SoundCloud.
Oh yes.
Which is super popular. It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It's free. So, and you can embed audio files.
Okay. There, I hadn't thought that through very well, had I?
Gonna mind map it.
Right. Okay. So, let's see. Alana, what about you? I mean, have you sort of solidified your promotional process?
No, in a word. I kind of use what I've learned at WA, and I've been using that technique for a while. I'm in the process of rewriting some blog posts to see if I can get more conversions. But going back to what Jay said, I think that's kind of where I need to start is, where are they coming from and how can I get them there kind of thing, instead of just, throwing something out there and hoping it sticks. So, yeah, I suppose I could use a mind map.
Well, and talking about that, I mean, so how do I get them there? First of all, you have to be aware of who is that client and where do they hang out, for one thing, right?
Yeah, and in that regard, I started using Instagram recently. So I set up an account for my blog and been throwing stuff out there and connecting with people on that, and I have found that the traffic on my site has started to increase. So I think they're coming from Instagram. I can't be sure because there's no social indication in Google Analytics, because on the Instagram account you can have a URL, but I don't think it's clickable. So I just put the name of my site in my profile, and I think they're just putting it in because I seem to be getting a lot more direct connections. So
I'd like to chime in with something else. I think I mentioned it in a couple of previous broadcasts, but I started doing some marketing on LinkedIn a while ago. I was using a tool called Linked Helper. And through that, I met a guy who is a lead generator. And between the two of us, we set up a strategy using Sales Navigator and LinkedIn. And the end result of that is, if you learn how to set it up, you can essentially use LinkedIn as an autoresponder.
Oh.
And you can set up a targeted mail sequence, which is what we did, a 3-message sequence. And what's been happening is, well, to be blunt, I've sold 7 deals on LinkedIn in the last 2 months. Partly using the LinkedIn strategy, but also my own strategy for marketing and presenting and getting a whole bunch of tools in place. So it's sort of like having an autoresponder with your own list. But in this case, LinkedIn is the list, and reaching out to new people in a particular way. And I've been astonished by how well it works. It was a little slow to begin, but once I started going with it, once I relaxed into it, that's when my conversions really started to improve. Now, in most cases, it would start off with a message sequence and me following up with people's questions, but with the goal of trying to get them onto a phone call. Like sending out information first whenever I can, then get them onto a phone call. I've been amazed by how easy it has been as of late to close deals. Like yesterday, I was on the phone with this one woman, and after being with her for about 45 minutes, she said to me, "Okay, I want to sign up." I didn't even ask for the close. She just said, when do we sign up? I had a guy a couple of weeks ago, same thing. I talked to him for only 10 minutes, and he said, "I want to sign up." It's just amazing.
So, Nathan, one of the things that I've noticed about LinkedIn is that people send you, like you link with them, and they immediately send you a sales pitch, which I mean I have no inclination to buy into a sales pitch when I barely know who that person is.
Yeah, I can't really tell you about their process. What I'm doing is different, and it's effective, and it works. I've had only one complaint in the entire time I've been doing it.
Right.
And we've sent over, between the two of us, we've sent over like 1,000 connections, but it's the way that it's worded, and it's worded in a way that, and it's targeted too. It's like very specific targeting as well. And by and large, I find that people are really receptive to it. But it's me reaching out to them, not them reaching out to me. Mind you, yesterday I had a guy reach out to me, and he said, "I love your tagline on LinkedIn." Like the way that I've been doing stuff with the help of this guy, it's really boosted my popularity on LinkedIn. I'm astonished by some of the results I'm getting. But like I said, this guy who wrote to me yesterday, and when I saw his message and what he wanted, I mean, it was wild because he's actually going to be working with my competition. And one of the questions I had for him is when I called him, is why would you want to work with me? You've got these guys. And he said, well, because most of our people can't afford that kind of fee. And so we're looking for other people that we can work with who can give us a result for less. And I thought, okay, cool. So that was really easy. And so we had a conversation, and he wrote to me this morning, and there's been all this dialogue going on. So it's just been really different. The last couple of months for me on LinkedIn is just completely transformed so many things in my life.
So, and you're using Sales Navigator to do this?
Yeah. Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
right
Yeah,
on.
and working with a guy who's a lead generator who knows what he's doing. Because part of what he does is he shows you how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And I'm amazed by how many compliments I've gotten from people on the headline that I'm using on my LinkedIn profile.
Right on.
I mean, it was kind of, it was not joking about this, but I wrote that headline as a whim. I didn't even think about it, just wrote it, go bang. And it created so much popularity that I've kept it.
Okay, so headline is a really important thing. So while we're on the topic, maybe that a variety of ways to use LinkedIn might be a topic for all of us to explore. So
Sure.
I'm going to put that on my topic list. Yeah.
You know, I gave LinkedIn a really good effort, and like I just opened it up now as we were talking about it, and you know, I got 10 new invitations, and you know, it's all, you know, hi Jay, it is great to know you are an owner of Magi Studios offering your services in software development, which it isn't. It's not software development.
No.
No mention of it whatsoever. It's a pleasure to connect with you and become part of your work success and updates. Please accept my invite. Thank you in advance.
Yeah.
They're all like that. They're all
I
like
know.
that.
I know.
It's peppered with spam. It is, and you know, like I see that there's a message, right? So I click on the message, and it's like, oh hey, you've earned LinkedIn ad credits or whatever, right? Like every single message is sponsored, you know, and it's just, I find that it's, and I actually really did try to give it a whirl, you know, but I just found that it was just peppered with just, in my opinion, garbage, right? I mean,
Yeah,
just,
people's trying to selling to you when you don't even know them.
Yeah, there's no authenticity to it whatsoever,
Yeah.
right? I mean, but that's just me. I mean, maybe it's just not like you know, I don't take, you know, I'm not trying to be a savvy business entrepreneur, you know, with a professional look where I don't wear a suit. I don't even have a suit. I don't own a suit. So,
If it's any help, I think the last time I wore a suit was in my early 20s. I hate suits. Well, I mean, and besides, I'm living in the tropics.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to be insane to wear a suit.
Right.
I don't bother with that. I mean, you know, with the image, it's kind of a funny thing. There's some people who say that image is really important, but when you're online, things change.
Well, image is a little bit different online, that's for sure. Yeah.
A lot different, in my opinion. But anyway.
So, but we're getting off topic here. I want us to talk about the various ways and where we are right now. So, David, what about you? I mean, I know that you've got some ideas about where you want to go, but
Yep.
have you put together a strategy so that you know exactly how it's all going to fit together?
I'm going back to when I was in construction, and we were way behind. It was building a nuclear plant, and we were way behind our timeline. And they brought in this gentleman from the Navy. He was an admiral in the Navy, retired, and his slogan was "Ready, Fire, Aim." So, here lately with my web business, I've been using that, and it's not being very successful. I need to start going back, and I know better because I'm an engineer, and I spent so many times with project management software, you know, before you start a project, that you go through and you do all of this stuff, and you outline it and you time it and you do all of this good stuff. I've used Visio, which I'm sure Jay has heard about. It's a flow chart, and it can be used for mind mapping and all that kind of stuff. But you think I would use it in this business? No, I just go ahead and ready,
fire, aim.
cut twice, measure once,
Right,
right?
you got it right. Actually, I've been measuring about 5 or 6 times, and I'm getting tired of it. So I am really getting ready to start planning things out and making a funnel and mind mapping it out and sitting back and looking at stuff. I am having success, but I need to have better success and get things going better. It's do as I say, don't do as I do.
Right. I think you said something kind of important, that you said that you actually recognize that you are having success versus just saying, I need to do better, I need to do better. So I think it's really important as entrepreneurs to celebrate milestones. And those milestones could be as audacious or as small as you want. You know, it's whatever you do, it's whatever to keep you going. You know, it's like, hey, I did some SEO today. Awesome. All right. That's taking me a step forward. You know, hey, I wrote a blog post today. Awesome. You know, that kind of stuff, right? Those are the celebrations. You know?
Yeah. Like making my first sale in my air fryer site. That was a huge deal for me. I was very happy.
Right on. Cool.
So,
small moments like that are a great inspiration, you know, or can be a great inspiration. So absolutely. And I think it is a great milestone.
Yeah. And now I just got to keep working at it. And the other thing is my time management. And I used to be very good at time management and making sure I worked on this project for so long, because I used to juggle 4, 5, 6 projects at once when I was an engineer. You know, and you had to dedicate a certain amount of time to each one, or one would fall behind, you know, and you can't get into the mindset of it being this one's more important, because then, I mean, you've got to work on the important ones, and you may give them more time, but you have to work on everything. Otherwise, it sits for months and nothing happens. And that can really be devastating to websites. If you're not actively keeping them up to date and posting on them and answering comments and so forth and so on. So you really have to dedicate time to each one at least once a week. And I've gotten very lazy with my time management, and I have to get that straightened out too.
So in a kind of a way, what you're inferring is mind mapping your process is important, but the whole project management, whatever way you choose to do that, it kind of goes hand in hand with it, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
And like I said, we used to, and part of the reason I'm kind of lazy with this is it was a team effort on getting the project together and deciding when things were going to get done. So it was a lot easier to do that. Right now I'm by myself, and I have to sit down and, okay, now I got to get this out, make my list, do all this, and I'm retired, or I don't know, I don't want to say I'm retired, but I'm into the age that I really don't want to spend all this time doing this. I just want it to be easy and just do it, you know. But I'm realizing you just can't do that. In order to be successful, just like you learned when you were 20 years old, you have to go through all this stuff, and then it becomes easy.
Yeah. Right on. So I'm noticing that Arthur Moorhead is out there. I'm looking at the comments, and he is saying he thinks that live streaming is the way to go. So I guess that would be our YouTube idea for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's also him and I were talking. We're actually from the same. I'm living in his whole old hometown.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
We couldn't, but not kind of getting offline. He was also commenting that LinkedIn is a totally higher type of social media.
Well, I know that everybody thinks that, but I still haven't found the right way to work with it. So maybe
if I could just jump in on LinkedIn, because when I was a member of a networking group last year, and they were huge on LinkedIn. And so from a local standpoint, I think LinkedIn can be very effective, because I have found that people that I was connecting with through my networking group, I was getting second and third hand invitations to connect through them, because I knew them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
yes.
from a local point of view, I think it can be very effective. But if you're just, trying to do something global, I think it's much more difficult.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, there was a time when if I went to a local networking event and picked up a handful of business cards, that was the first thing I did. Was I went to LinkedIn to see if they were there and to connect with them. So that's a good point, Alana. That it can sort of help out in that way.
Yeah, it's more local, I think. Now, having said that, I did get invitations from other software developers that wanted to join my company.
Okay.
So, needless to say, I had to send them a message back and say, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I know. Well, and I mean, I get these marketing, sales and marketing messages, and they all assume that because I'm a coach, I must need to access more training for coaches. Okay.
Hey.
So
they have to try, right?
Yeah, they do. Anyway, so now, Fred, what about you? I mean, do you have a strategy for the work that you're doing and what you're posting?
Can you hear me? Because I had to change computers and so on.
Yes.
Is it all
Yeah,
right?
we can hear
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay, because it's probably better than the previous computer I was using. I've got the other one sitting on my knee, and this one here. So it's a juggling. As far as strategy is concerned, I think the first place is I have to make sure I'm solving people's problems. What are the problems I'm solving? Once I know who my target market is, then I have to find out where they hang out. Now, this is all theory because you're asking me what I'm doing, but this is where I think I've heard so many places mentioned today. I've heard YouTube mentioned, podcasts mentioned, Instagram, Facebook maybe wasn't mentioned, but it's out there. People are marketing. LinkedIn, obviously, was mentioned a lot of time. There's also other areas of Pinterest. I have somebody who loves Pinterest and has been very successful using Pinterest. The one thing I haven't heard mentioned is email. No one's mentioned email. And yet, if you remember the lady that Jay mentioned, Mira Kotan,
Yes.
she's just releasing a new book on email. And in fact, if I apply for a copy of it before May 16th, I will get a free copy as long as I say I'll do a review for Amazon. Now, Mira has always impressed me ever since Jay, and this is critical advice, strategies, and ideas to turn subscribers into buyers and grow a 6-figure income with email. 300 email marketing tips. I'm going to apply for that and see, because I believe email still, even though it's old-fashioned, is one of the most powerful tools to get hold of that target market and tell them what you are doing for them. Now, I have 2 target markets at the moment. One is homeschooling, and I still haven't found out where they hang out. It's very challenging because it's a challenging market. These people who are homeschooling their children are extremely busy, absolutely, but they do have podcasts. I listen to that, etc. So my challenge is to find out where do they hang out and get hold of them. They do have local groups in the local areas where they communicate with other parents so they can share what's going on. It's like Alana said, LinkedIn can maybe be successful for you in a local area sometime. You agree. So, but it's a matter of finding where they are, how they hang out, and then how do you reach them? Is it email? Is it Pinterest? Is it LinkedIn? Because we can have the flavor of the day. Somebody say, oh, we got to use LinkedIn. Oh, and so you jump on that one and it doesn't work. Oh, and then somebody tells you Pinterest and then you try that. Eventually, you're not getting anywhere. So you got to choose one. But I think it's find where do they hang out and how do I reach them? What tools will reach them? I believe email is probably for one of the target markets that I'm going for. Is the homeschool may work. I'm not saying it will work. But that,
Fred, can I give you a suggestion there? Because you might want to try looking up homeschool forums.
Yes. Yes.
Have you tried that? Because I would
Yes.
bet
Yes.
that
Yes.
there would be forums for homeschool moms
Yes, there
that
is.
would exchange ideas and that sort of thing. And that might be a good
So
door
that's
for
another
them to
example
open.
that's a great example, and there are forums, and I do reach out. Sorry, Jay?
Sorry to interrupt. I was saying, Alani, didn't you homeschool your daughter?
No,
Oh.
no, she went to a Gale school, but I didn't homeschool her.
Oh, okay.
She went to an
I
all Irish
Oh
school.
no, yeah, it was yeah, Debbie. I'm hovering over your thing, David. It says
Debbie.
transition period.
I told you it was AK. You didn't hear it, but I said AKA Debbie this day. Yeah, we homeschooled two of our kids. We only had two, so all of our kids.
Right.
And where we connected was local Facebook groups.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it was local. We were not trying to, and then we would do Google searches when we wanted information, you know, on classes or on books or stuff like that, or curriculums. But mainly to communicate with the other families and whatnot, it was local Facebook groups, and again, that
And
was
it's like, sorry, it's like any group. It depends. There was a group here locally. It was very, very active. But when I get onto them, they're not active anymore. So I'm trying to find out where they are. I find homeschool parents are so over, talk about time management.
Overextended.
They are so extended. I contacted one lady just recently up island, and she said, I can maybe talk to you between 4 and 4:30 on some day because I'm overextended until November. It's just
Wow.
And then by then I'll probably be overextended until February. It's just the way my life is, and that is not abnormal for the ones I've managed to contact.
Well, I found that there were about 3 different types of homeschoolers.
Yeah, but the concept, but the challenge is, just as an example, I'm not.
Yeah.
You have to find out where they are, where do they hang out, and that's where you use, rather than just say, okay, I'm going to use YouTube or Pinterest or LinkedIn, because you could be wasting your time if your target market doesn't hang out. So who's your target market? What is your solution? If you don't have a solution, don't use marketing. And I'm still in the throes of looking at different markets. I'm having a meeting on Sunday with the people that I reached out in Spain. And as I said, I might be going to Portugal if this works out. And I'm spending all my time and effort planning my presentation in that 2-hour meeting. And there's people, I already see they're signing up for Sunday. And that could be very, very, because we're talking about people in 70 countries who are potentially interested in youth. This may be a breakthrough for me, I don't know. So that's another avenue I'm looking, but that's not homeschooling, that's other areas of working with young people. Anyway, that's my take. What I heard this morning was so many different avenues, and you could waste your time, as some of you have mentioned. I've tried this, but it didn't work. But before you try it, where does your target audience hang out, and who is your target audience?
Yeah.
It's not everybody. Okay, that's my.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more, Fred. Those 2 factors are really key. And I mean, this whole thing about putting your stuff out or yourself out. I could mention something that happened recently in WA. There's a site on WA where people are inviting other people to link to their various social networks. And I saw that somebody had put a YouTube link up there, and so I thought, I'll go and see what that person is doing. So there, I go to the link that provided, and there's not one video there, not one. So. And I mean, I didn't bother looking to see whether the Pinterest thing had any. I mean, there was maybe five different social media linkages there, and I thought, well, if this is any indication, I'm not going to waste any more time on that. But so there, you can get led astray very easily by trying to connect with people in the right places, for sure.
Arthur's saying try homesteading groups and droning groups.
Droning.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
I gotta fly here, folks. Take care.
Glad you joined us, Jay.
Glad to see you.
So, Javita, what about you? Have you put together a promotional strategy?
Yeah, I tried YouTube, but last time I told you that mishap about that ban my channel. So I really don't know now. Even if like Fred said now, email marketing, even affiliate marketing means they are not allowed some to promote your affiliate links through email marketing also.
Yeah.
YouTube also banning affiliate marketing, and now you must remembering that Grace Facebook page is also banned.
Wow.
So no, from this money making niche is very difficult to promote on different social channels.
Yeah, you have to. You have to do the promoting on your website, and then what you then out on the social channels is what you have to promote your website. So it's a multi-layered process, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, Grace Facebook page. She's also just uploaded a video about making money online.
Oh yeah.
Niche.
Mm-hmm.
But his Facebook page is also banned.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah. So now you can't simple upload a video about this niche.
Well, but something I'm noticing is there's an awful lot of people posting the same thing. How to make money online using, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I think the way to attract people is to share your knowledge with them and help to educate them based on their need or their interest. Yeah. It's tricky. It's really tricky trying to figure out how to navigate that.
Yeah, you need to be solving that's what Google is all about. They want you to solve a problem or answer a question, and if you make money off of that, that's fine. But your main purpose needs to be solving a problem or answering a question. If you're not doing that, if you're just trying to promote yourself, they're not happy with you, and they're not going to put you on top. They're not going to do anything with you. They want you to be solving someone's problem, whether that's giving them information.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Fred.
See you, Fred. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. I was just going to share within the video just the comments, just so that we can see how this works within the YouTube. So I see that Arthur has said that YouTube has been great for him. Lots of new YouTubers. A never-ending continuum that never ends these days. Yes, trying to figure out where to put things. Yeah, it's so. Is everybody going to sit down and put together their mind map? Is everybody going to put a mind map together so that you can see what your process is?
I'm planning on it. It looks like we've lost a bunch of people.
Yeah, well, it's because we've gone over the time.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I've definitely been planning on it. That's one of the things that what's causing my problem or my thing is that this mushroom site is so overwhelming that we have to do it. It just is required to do a mind map. Otherwise, we're just going to be redoing stuff just to redo stuff, and we need to do it in a prioritized way so that it gets done, in a way that the customers are going to. I mean, it doesn't do me any good to update a certain species of mushroom and get that page going well when signing up the members is so confusing and so hard to do. As a member of the club, you need to get that done first. You need to set a priority on what's going to be done first and get the customers happy so that they can navigate the site and find stuff and so forth and so on. So yeah,
you have done the mind map for your website?
We're in the I work with another gentleman, Tony Ridgway, and him and I are in the process of doing the mind map so that we can make sure that we cover all of our bases and that we cover the bases in the right order.
Right.
But for the website only.
It's
I'm also in the process. I'm in my air fryer site is something that I'm going to do later on, but my affordable websites for small business, that's one I have to do a funnel on, because I have to start driving traffic to that site, and then I have to capture the traffic that's coming to that site and get requests for quotes and whatnot. And that's one that I'm mainly wanting to work on, and get it so that it's I'm getting people coming there and signing up. I'm interested in Nathan's idea. I'm sorry to see him leave because I wanted to get his information. But I'm interested in what he's doing on LinkedIn, because that would fit very well with what I'm doing. LinkedIn is an area where, with affordable websites, it would be something that people would really gravitate to. But here again, I don't want to go and just be another advertiser on LinkedIn. I want to be someone that's saying, hey, I provide a service to solve your problem. I'm not here to gouge you or, I'm here to help you.
Yeah. So it's a question of knowing who your client is and identifying the right client.
Correct.
The client group.
Right. The air fryer site, I really need to identify who's buying the air fryers.
Yeah.
I need to do some demographic studies on it. It's like selling houses. I need to, when we think about what we're doing, I'm trying to change my wife's mindset. She loves dealing with people that are first-time buyers that are buying their first house, and it's in a range of anywhere from $40,000 to $90,000 is what they're paying on. And I want to change our clientele to where we're dealing with $90,000 to $200,000 homes. Because if we change our clientele to that, it means that we're putting in the same amount of work, but we're getting twice the money for it.
Right.
And so we need to change.
So the target the target is really, really important. Yeah.
Are we still streaming?
Yes, we are. And I was just thinking that perhaps because it's 10:15, I will pull us to a close. We can continue our conversation later, but so I want to thank everyone for their contributions, and I wish everybody success in creating their mind map on the details, exactly what their business process is. So with that, I want to remind everyone it's important to do what you love with passion. And we will see you again next week. Bye for now.